Hi guys, Paul from Warrior Tactical Systems here. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. In this video, what we're going to look at is slipping. Okay, it's a very basic skill, but it's an important one. And what brought this up, I had a friend of mine that does a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he was having trouble closing the distance. He's getting hit a lot at long range, and he wasn't able to get in there to get into that range that he wants. So that's what this video is kind of inspired by. If you want to be a ground fighter, then the best way to do that is also learn how to stand up and fight, because that's going to help you to get to the ground. It's going to teach you the line familiarization, the distance, the timing you need to close on punches and be able to get down there. Same way if you want to be a stand-up fighter. If your goal is to not go to the ground, it's very important that you train the ground, that you learn the position, you learn how to get up from the ground, you learn how to reverse and escape, and you know, it goes both ways. We have to have the whole package. I believe in being able to fight in all ranges with and without weapons. But if you're a specialist in one area, that's fine. Just learn those other areas so you can get to your specialty. Okay. So the distance for this, basically what we're looking at is slipping a straight punch. Okay. And that's an important fundamental, that if you have that, the other things are a little bit easier, because a straight punch is straight, it's fast, and once you get it down, learn to deal with hooks and other lines is a little bit easier. So let's take a look at the technique here. So get Greg to come in and help me out. Okay. First off is, you know, I prefer not to be in this middle range where I have to slip. I prefer to be at a really long range where he can't reach me with any of his tools. So if he extends his arm out, he's way out of range here. When he comes in with his jab, at this point he has to lunge at me, and this is where I can work my destructions, I can work my interceptions, I can work other techniques rather than have to do a defensive technique. But sometimes we get caught in that middle range, or sometimes we want to close the distance. So I need to understand this middle range. I need to understand passive defense. Okay. Once I have that passive defense really built in, my radar, you know, on point, then I can focus on my offense, and I know the defense will take care of itself. So the basic technique of a slip is, I just want to move my head off the line of attack. Okay. And all I'm doing is I'm coming up on my heel, and I'm turning my heel just like if I was throwing a hook or I was throwing a cross. I want to do the same thing, but I'm moving my head and I'm rolling my shoulder over. So as he comes in with a straight punch, the most important thing is that I get a partner that's doing me right. He's actually throwing a punch at my head. Okay, so he's got to aim. He's going to aim for my forehead. I don't have a mouthpiece in right now, but even if I did, we generally aim up to the forehead just for safety. And he's going to actually aim through the target. So he's not just putting it here or short. That's the worst thing you can do, is do it short and I'm moving when I don't need to. He's going to actually make contact and go through the target. He's not knocking my head off, but he's making contact. So I want to check that once in a while and go ahead and, okay, he's hitting me. He's not hurting me, but he's hitting me. Now, what your partners try to do sometimes, they try to help you. So if I'm slipping to this side, okay, well, let's take the example that I'm slipping to this side here. Instead of aiming straight for my head, he ends up aiming over here to help my slip. Okay, he's trying to help me out. He means well. But when we start mixing it up and I can go to either side, now when he aims over here and I move my head that way, I go right into the punch. He's not helping me by not punching to my head, is my point. It's very important that you have a partner that punches properly, aims for your head, and is helping you out. Okay, so once we got a good partner, we got him trained to do what he needs to do, what I'm going to do is, again, I'm just going to slip out as small amount as possible. At first you might be a little big. You might overdo it to get out of the way. But over time, what I want you to do is refine that so that you're barely moving out of the way and at the last possible second. Okay, that applies to all evasion skills. The last possible second, barely move, is the best way to do any type of evasion. So as he's coming in with that shot, what I want to do is just barely move out of the way so that this glove scrapes the side of my head, my ear, and I'm just right here. I'm barely out of the line. What's nice about this is my defense happens right at the end of his extension. So he's planning on, he believes he's hitting me. And at that last minute, I'm able to hit him. Notice both my hands are free. Sometimes I do parry with it, but both my hands are free to counter, to come in with whatever. Okay. When I slip to the inside, same concept. I slip as little as possible. I rotate this shoulder forward like I'm throwing across. Okay, and I let that thing barely hit my ear, so it's off to the side. And again, I have both hands available to come back and counter. Alright, so at first you just work the technique static here. He can come in with a couple punches and I'll work my jab. Once in a while I'll stop, make sure he's hitting me. That's very important. Let him hit you once in a while so that you know your partner's feeding you the proper line. Again, I don't want to slip way out of range because my partner's always firing it way short. Okay. Then we'll start moving around. So as we're moving around here, just kind of up on our toes, sometimes I'm not ready to slip. Okay. Come on in whenever. I might just parry and step back. I wasn't ready yet. Sometimes I'm late and I get hit, or I test him, make sure he's hit me. Okay, perfect. Okay, come in. Perfect. I wasn't ready, step back and parry. Move back a little bit. That's it. Okay, mix it up. Don't always slip to the same side. You can do the same side 2 or 3 times and then the other side. Okay? But I'm getting feel for that timing. Now, just like I told you, it was very important to be at that proper distance. I prefer to be at really long range, but if I let my partner just walk me down, okay, he comes in and just keeps walking me down, throws a punch, and walking me down, throws a punch, he's going to hit me, okay, because he's too close. He's inside my reactionary gap. He snaps that out, he's going to get me. I don't have time to slip. I have to be just out of his range. So extend your punch out for me. I need to be out here where he at least has to take a little bit of a step. Okay? So he has to step in order to get into me. That's going to give me that time to slip. What my partner has to do is feed me what I need to get better. Okay? So if he's just walking me down, throwing punch after punch as fast as he can, yeah, he's going to hit me. But in reality, that wouldn't happen because I'd be firing back. It's not so easy just to walk somebody down all the time. Especially in the beginning, what you want to do is feed them what they need. I should be successful most of the time. Once in a while, I should screw up. So if I'm successful 100% of the time, he'll start upping the intensity a little bit. He can start walking me down a little. He can start faking a little bit, pumping the jab. He can start doing doubles, throw 2 jabs, one right after the other. But if he's overwhelming me, if I'm failing, more than 50% of the time, then he's going to cut it back, go a little easier, maybe go a little slower, especially for a beginner. You're probably going to be going slow, and just getting a feel for the timing that person needs to work their technique. Okay, so anytime you're drilling this stuff, make sure you work it, to the level that's appropriate to your partner. And if you're really good at this, do this little basic stuff sometimes and make it more refined. Last second, make it as small as possible. Okay guys, so that's slipping. Again, you can work that off of a jab or a cross. Those are the two I'd recommend you work off of. We work the jab a lot because it's closer, it's just faster. The cross is harder, but it's a little bit farther away, it's easier to see. But you need to work both of those. Make that a fundamental and build that in so you have that good radar and are able to move forward off of those punches, close the distance, and be within distance to counter a strike. You'll build a lot of attributes by doing that. You'll build your mobility and footwork because you need to be moving. You're going to build your line familiarization. You get used to seeing those over and over again. Once you've had thousands and thousands of jabs thrown at your head, it's a lot easier to defend against them. You're going to build judgment of distance. You're going to build that timing that you need. And this is a bridge towards sparring, okay, where you can start doing some jab sparring off of this once you get this basic defense down. Okay, and don't forget to work your other defenses, but this is a key one because it's really going to work that distance and timing to another level. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already and leave us a comment. Thanks.